Testing, testing, testing. Hi, this is my first shoot of 2026, and so far today there's been so many things that's happened. Really quick, I'm gonna complain. I'll get into why I haven't been shooting and everything, but today I'm proud of myself because as you can, well, you can't see yet, but I got ready. I have clothes on and I have all my equipment out. I had to clean dust off of my tripod and my camera. That's never happened before. Anyway, my dress won't zip up all the way. I had like curlers in my hair. My hair just, usually it curls. It always curls. I didn't want to do that today. Nail, it broke. Look at my freaking nails. Long story. Only source of lighting right now, it broke. It does a clip. Despite all of these very minor inconveniences, I pulled through. And we're gonna get this freaking shoot done today, and it's gonna be really, really good. But let me tell you what I'm doing. But this is a very different video for me, and I feel kind of uncomfortable, and I'm just gonna start talking. And I don't know if it's gonna make sense, but I know if you're a creative or an artist, you might get it. And if one person relates, cool. Let's just get into it. So if you've been following me, you know I got married last, oh my God, it's almost a year ago. And I had a beautiful wedding and I had a beautiful honeymoon. We went to Hawaii, but I was planning my wedding for 2 years. And so I did it all by myself. Like, look how beautiful it is. I did all of that. And I had so much fun doing it. And I mean, my husband, he did what I asked him to do. It's not like I was like on my own, like in that sense, but I took pride in it because I'm a creative and so is my mom. So we just had a blast planning everything. By doing that, it took over every single day of my life. I guess after 2 years of doing that and just nonstop like love from people checking in, and like, you know, it's one of the times your friends are interacting with you the most because it's such a special event and there's so many events to see them all and family, and so you're just constantly bombarded with love. And then after the wedding, that, you know, I mean, obviously those events stop and the wedding's over, and I know a lot of people can just move on from that, but like for me, I'm so sensitive where like, I don't know, it was very strange for me coming from like such an adrenaline high to not, you know, it was just different, and I had to work through that and that was fine. But then I quickly realized that like I hadn't shot since October and it's March and I just could not get myself to shoot. I couldn't do it. I felt really insecure. Like I said, my dress didn't zip up. I don't know. I need my hair done. I need my nails done. I haven't been taking care of myself. Like I could go on about that, but I've been neglecting being a girl and that makes me sad. So on top of, you know, the adrenaline crash, I guess you can call it, needing to create a new schedule, like get back into creating and like working, it was weird for me. It was really hard for me to adjust. And then there was a death in the family, and so just changes. Like my sister is graduating, and that's a lot for me. She's my baby sister. I'm the oldest. There's just so much. I won't keep going. But with all that being said, this last weekend, I couldn't tell you what made me wake up again, but I don't know, maybe enough time has passed, I suppose. I sat down and I was brainstorming, and I decided that I was gonna focus on YouTube, you guys. So if you made it this far, thank you. And I'm gonna blabber a little bit more, but I'll show you some stuff as I blabber. So like I said, this past year, I felt really lost as a creator, and just my identity and being away from the internet for so long and not really creating at all. I felt like I lost my identity as an artist. And like when I log on to social media, I fall into the trap of looking at everyone else's work and I'm like, what happened? I don't, like, there's so many other things I want to do and I can't. You know, my brain starts racing, like I can't do it because of this and that, and because my whole thing is I do stuff by myself and I have so much fun doing it, and I have to be constantly reminded, like, you don't have a team, but the whole point is you creating magic by yourself, and that's what's so fun about it, and that's what people follow me for, you know. But I got tripped up with comparison, as I know we all do. But the biggest topic I'm sure you guys are very familiar with is AI. AI changed the internet, it changed social media, it feels completely different. And just consuming all of this AI content, like for so long I was like, I can tell the difference, like, and now I can't. What worried me was, like, for example, if you're on Pinterest, now you can see like when they label something like AI modified or something, but a lot of that isn't AI modified. Like I follow a lot of these photographers and like I think it's like this auto flag thing that the Pinterest algorithm does. Because I've been creating these little worlds and editing since I was like 14, 15, I'm 30 now, okay? And so that, I don't know, that really got me, and maybe you can relate. But for so many reasons, that also was a big thing, was AI. And that's why I decided that it's time for a rebrand. We're gonna start small, and my first shoot is gonna be my new YouTube banner. It's gonna be duplicates of me. You'll see it come together, but I'm excited because I don't know. I feel like it's pretty like a simple concept, but I just really haven't done it before. Sorry, my lighting. I'm so mad my light broke. I have other lights, but that was my handy dandy everything light. Like, again, I'm so fresh with YouTube and creating long form content, so be patient with me as I blab, because I know I gotta construct this video, and I mean, I need to make it make sense, and I'm gonna do my very best. What are we, 10 minutes in? For those who don't know me, I'm a self-portrait photographer. I started off doing senior photos in high school, and then when I went to college, I worked with clothing stores in the area, and then that just kind of turned into me shooting models and aspiring models. And then COVID hit, and that's when I started doing self-portraits, and it kind of evolved from there, and I'm just stuck with it, and I love it. So I don't have a team, I shoot and I direct, and I do my makeup and hair for all of my pictures. And then 95% of the time I go into Photoshop and I build my little digital world with the self-portrait I took that day. So back on the topic of AI, as not only a photographer, but a digital artist, especially being a digital artist, the rise of AI and the amount of it and the density of it has been really complicated for me. And at first I didn't think it would be. I didn't really feel threatened by AI. And in some ways I do, in some ways I really don't. It's hard for me, and it's probably not for the reason you think so. I'm not afraid of my work being stolen. Nothing in art is original anyway. You know, that might just be in the context of photographer, creative world. I can't speak for, you know, illustrators and all those different extensions of art. But as a self-portrait photographer, that didn't alarm me as much as you might think it would. And so I began to worry now that it's so saturated, and going back to what I said about Pinterest, for example, everyone's so exposed to these crazy ideas now, and I started to feel like my work wasn't impressive anymore. It wasn't exciting and different because people can AI themselves anywhere and anything. And for a long time, you could tell when something was AI, and now I can't tell most of the time now, and that's what's scary to me, because now something that, you know, you put hours into and you did that all by yourself, it's generated in a second. I've always shown the behind the scenes of my work, and I guess I just hope that that's still interesting. I hope that's still fun to see everything come together, even though it's not as magnificent as something a prompt could create, because I do everything in my bedroom. And before I lived here, I did everything in my bedroom and my childhood home. I've always created in small spaces. I think I've rented a studio under less than 10 times in my life. I have fun creating with nothing, truly. So it's always been fun for me to work with what I have in that moment. So I guess I'm just worried that you guys are numb to art now. You know, what do they call it? Like fast food art. That was probably 50% as to why I just couldn't get myself to create. I had the other factor of feeling very insecure with me being the subject of all of my art. And the last shoot I did was in October, my annual Halloween series. And I honestly, that's something that I prepare for all year. It kind of knocked the wind out of me this year. I was so excited. I invested in props and I went all out this year, and I could tell that nobody was seeing my work. And I get, like, you know, you create for yourself and that's fun, but I built my following on Instagram and TikTok off of community, and I had fun interacting with that community and seeing other artists recreating my concepts, and like it was fun. And so for 31 days I was going all out. I wasn't sleeping, and like that's just part of that series every year. And I'd be so excited to post at the end of the night, and nobody would see it. And I tried to put my ego aside, but as the month went on, I I got sad. I got really sad because, you know, I'm not understanding the algorithm and I'm caring less and less about the algorithm, which is also why I stepped away from Instagram and TikTok. And I was comforted though by the very end of October because for whatever reason, like that last week of October, I was getting comments like, how did I miss the series? Like, why am I just seeing this now? Like, people missed the whole thing. And that was a bummer. It was a bummer. And so like after October is really when I stopped posting. And that included like my personal life and I was self-conscious. I was like, nobody wants to see like my personal life either. Like I even posted my wedding. I feel like I disappeared. But you know, when no one sees your work, you can tell yourself that, you know, views and feedback and support doesn't matter, but it gets in your head as a creator. You build something you're proud of, and I know this goes for every creator and artist, but you build something that you're proud of and then you put it out to the void and nobody sees it. I have a great support system, my husband, my family, my friends that, I mean, they always support my work. But it's just not the same without, you know, my little online community, my little corner of the internet. It was just kind of like they disappeared too. So instead of trying to win the Instagram or TikTok game again, I'm focusing on YouTube this year. Like, actually, I've said that so many times, but my heart is gonna go into YouTube this year and learning how to do this long form game because I'm not used to it. I'm used to taking like a 50-minute video and cutting it down to 30 seconds. So that's weird, but then I'm learning, I'm studying, I'll figure it out and I'll learn as I go. I feel like YouTube is more sustainable and it actually gets to show me as an artist and more in-depth stuff. And something I really want to do is show like my editing process. And that's always been intimidating because I learned Photoshop, I learned how to use my camera, all of that by myself. And so like I do things my way. I go on Google and there's probably a million things that I could do easier and quicker, but I guess I'm stubborn. So I feel like I'm worried about being judged about how I, you know, utilize these software, but whatever, I know that's silly. So I'm done blabbering, I promise, about, I don't know where I've been, but I want to talk about what I'm shooting today. I'm so used to like sharing like all the props and stuff, but it's just me. I'm the prop. I mean, I'm not going to cover all of those hats I wear, but in the photo, there will be various images of me placed into one scene. One of my roles will obviously be the photographer, one will be the model, the other one will be the director. I'm not really sure how I'll capture that exactly, but you get the idea. I guess I just want it to be clear when people come to my page that I do those things. I just hope it's more straightforward because right now it's literally just my name. I'm gonna place myself in different positions. But all that editing it's the fun part because I never really know where it's gonna go, but it always is something that I love in the very end. I think that's the best part of digital photography and digital art, making spaces and creating worlds that don't exist and showing it to everyone else. That goes on in your little creative noggin. I guess this is just my very long introduction to say I forgot why I created in the first place. I think you're hearing that from a lot of people now, whether it's a beauty influencer or anything. I think with the rise of AI and just oversaturation in media really is getting to people. So yeah, today we're gonna make a new world. I don't know what the setting's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be a white backdrop. I don't know if I'm gonna put myself in an office, a fake studio. I don't know, but you are now along for the ride. And I'm excited to experiment again. So that's what I do. Let's do it. I just want an artsy fartsy community that like cares about art like I do. I am craving that. So if you're into photography or just like watching me figure stuff out, stick around. I will appreciate that. I'll see you in the next one. Doodles.